In this episode, we explore England's smallest city. Join me as I uncover the beautiful medieval heart of Wales. We admire its Gothic cathedral, visit its bustling marketplace, attempt to break a world record long jump, walk along the UK's best preserved medieval street, explore the palace moat, and take a peek in the grounds of the Bishop's Palace. Located in Somerset on the southern edge of the Mendip Hills, Wales is perhaps most famous for its cathedral. Built between 1175 and 1490, it is the first English cathedral to be built in the Gothic style. Cathedral Green is a beautiful place to unwind and admire the breathtaking architecture. Its iconic west front can be admired while enjoying a picnic on the grass. Entry to the cathedral is £14, and you can visit as many times as you like in the following 12 months. The price includes a guided tour of the building. Subscribe to my channel because I'll explore inside the cathedral in a future episode. Wales Marketplace has been at the heart of the city throughout the centuries and continues to be a thriving hub today. A farmers' market is held in the square every Wednesday, followed by a local market with lots of interesting, colourful stalls selling great produce, objects for your home, jewellery, art, books and fashion every Saturday. Both markets run from 9 AM until 3 PM. The square is lined with a mixture of places to eat, drink and shop, and interesting historic buildings. The Market Cross and Fountain is a limestone Grade II listed monument built in 1897. It's amazing to stop and reflect on all the cash exchanged over the years in the historic heart of the city as market traders sold their goods and produce to locals. It's now a very popular spot with tourists, and it's easy to see why. Marketplace is also home to a commemorative plaque celebrating an Olympic Games world record long jump. In 1964, Wales resident Mary Rand jumped 22 feet and 2¼ inches. If you visit the city, I dare you to give it a go.
3, 2, 1!
What?
Is that it?
Let's go.
Two medieval gateways are located in Marketplace. The first is the Bishop's Eye, which leads towards the Bishop's Palace and Moat. We'll explore that later in this episode. The second is the Penniless Porch. The Penniless Porch was built around 1450 and was a shelter for beggars to ask for food and money. The gateway leads back to Cathedral Green. It's very easy to get around Wales by foot, and we're heading back through Cathedral Green to Vicars Close. For many, it will be the first point of interest when entering the city. Vicars Close is the best preserved medieval street in the UK and was built to house the Vicars Choral, who sang daily worship within the cathedral. The centuries-old tradition continues today and is a unique and much valued part of life at Wells Cathedral. The choir is renowned for its musical heritage and they are still housed here to this day. The houses were built in the 14th century under the direction of Bishop Ralph of Shrewsbury, and the iconic chimneys were added in the 15th. all of the buildings in Vicars Close are Grade 1 listed due to their historical significance. I think it's fantastic that this part of British heritage is still alive and thriving today, and that the buildings are still used for their original purpose.
Just say hot lips.
What was that?
Just say hot lips.
Alongside the houses are a chapel, library, treasury and dining hall. The dining hall is connected to the cathedral by the Chain Gate Bridge. A great place to stop for coffee is Café Nostra. Serving up a mixture of Italian and English cuisine, it was popular with locals, and the homemade gelato had almost sold out. It made me feel very nostalgic about our recent trips to Tuscany and Sicily, where we enjoyed lots of gelato in the Italian sunshine. The Palace Moat is a beautiful place to unwind. The moat, walls and ramparts were built to protect the bishop's palace in the 14th century, although they were more of a status symbol to highlight the importance of the role of the bishops. You can climb part of the wall for free, and the rest is accessible with paid entry to the bishop's palace. Everything I'm showing you now is free, so if you're visiting for just one day, you can step back in time and enjoy this part of the grounds. If you'd like to see more of the moat and ramparts, subscribe to my channel and I'll cover it in a future episode. Inside the tower, you can take a glimpse out of the narrow windows across the moat. The tower was built during the 18th century and was originally used for prayer and reflection. By 1899, it was used as a potato store. However, you can still see the 10 Commandments displayed on the wall. The moat has been home to swans since the 1850s. Since then, they have been trained to ring a bell at the gatehouse for food. They obviously weren't hungry when we visited, but it looked like they were starting to think about their lunch. The Bishop's Palace is next to the Cathedral and is accessible along the drawbridge and through this gatehouse. It is the 800-year-old home and office of the Bishops of Bath and Wells. When you pass through the gatehouse, you can see more of the protective walls, croquet lawn and ruins of the Great Hall. Entry to the Bishop's Palace is £17.50 and tickets last 1 year and give access to the historic medieval palace, the Bishop's private chapel, 14 acres of stunning gardens and the Wells pools, from which Wells derives its name. I was lucky enough to be granted access to some of the area to film this tiny teaser for you. But there's so much more to explore, so subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button because I will cover the Bishop's Palace and Wells Cathedral in a future episode. From the 13th century, Sadler Street was the main entrance to the city from the north. It was full of coaching inns and taverns, and some are still trading today, including the White Hart and the Swan. It's easy to explore Wales on foot in one day, but it is a place that will keep enticing you back to see more. I've regularly visited since my childhood and still visit every year for a great day out, as it's around 20 miles from my hometown of Bristol. If you're driving to Wales, then you can park for free along St Thomas Street, where a short walk to the city centre will take you past some picture-perfect cottages. I hope you enjoyed this trip around Wales. If you're still watching, it probably means you did, so please do support my new travel channel by hitting the subscribe and bell button. Over the next couple of months, I'll be exploring more historic cities and coastal towns throughout the UK. Subscribe to follow the adventure. Thanks for watching. Cheers!